My name is Donovan Belcourt. I'm a personal trainer that specializes in working with people over 60. Today, I'm going to give you free advice that you can use to get 100% stronger in as little as 3 months. If you follow a step-by-step plan that obeys the principle of progressive overload, you can expect to get considerably stronger in just 3 months. And most people find that they're 100% stronger after completing a 3-month cycle of strength training. So I'm going to break it down in 3 actionable steps that you can start working on tomorrow. Step 1 is to pick an exercise and find what we call your 10 rep max at that exercise. Make sure that the exercise you pick is a compound exercise. Compound exercises means that we use multiple joints to move the weight that we're lifting. So a bicep curl would not be a compound exercise. Something like a bench press or a machine leg press would classify as a compound exercise. We're working multiple muscle groups over multiple different joints. Finding your 10 rep max couldn't be simpler. You're gonna jump on the machine with your chosen exercise. You're gonna select a weight that you're confident you can perform for 10 reps, do a set of 10 repetitions, and ask yourself, on a scale of 1 to 10, how difficult was that? If it wasn't a 10 out of 10, because remember, we're finding your max, make sure you add weight, give yourself enough rest, and do another set of 10. Continue this process until the exercise or the set that you performed is about a 10 out of 10 on the difficulty scale. Another thing to keep in mind when you're finding your 10 rep max is to make sure that your reps are controlled and you're going throughout the same range of motion. As the weight gets heavier, make sure that you're not shortening your range of motion. So once you've selected one compound exercise, you've established your 10 rep max with that exercise, we can move on to step 2 in making you 100% stronger in 3 months. So the ultimate goal in phase 2 is to increase the weight by 100% and develop strategies for doing that. Now, getting 100% stronger does mean that you're going to be lifting twice as much weight at the end of the 3-month cycle as when you started. So how you progress the weight becomes very important. If you progress too slowly, you risk leaving progress on the table. If you progress too quickly, you risk burnout or injury. So a system that I created to make sure that you're not adding weight too slowly or too quickly is called the Rule of 3 strength progression. What it means is you're going to take your 10 rep max with the exercise you selected, and you're going to add 3% of load every 3 weeks for the 3-month cycle. Now, if you're good at mental math, you may notice that that doesn't equal 100% strength. So the Rule of 3 strength progression is designed for people that are brand new to strength training all the way up to people that have some experience with strength training. So if you're new to strength training, you'll find that you'll be able to progress much quicker than 3% every 3 weeks for 3 months, but it's designed to capture a broader audience of people that are engaging in strength training, particularly people that are over 60. So what you're going to do after you found your 10 rep max is you're going to perform 3 sets at that weight. Now, make sure that you're resting at least 2 full days, ideally 72 hours before you perform your selected exercise again. So you'll notice that we're just focusing on one exercise to make you 100% stronger. There's 2 things. One, we make sure that it's a compound exercise, so we're working multiple muscle groups at once. And number 2 is that it's a lot easier to progress when you focus on just one exercise, especially if you're new to strength training. So you'll perform your exercise for 3 sets of 10 repetitions at or near your 10 rep max, and then after that you can go about your normal comfortable routine, whether it's walking on a treadmill, walking on a track, or doing strength training for the rest of your body. For this 3-month phase of gaining 100% strength, I want you just to focus on one exercise. Now, if you have a little bit of experience with strength training, you can expand this to maybe 2 or 3 exercises, but if you're brand new, pick one large compound exercise, and that's the exercise we're going to focus on progressing over the next 3 months. The coolest thing about all of this is that it sounds insane to some to increase your strength by 100% in just 3 months, but the catch is, the newer you are to strength training, the easier this is going to be for you. If you've never strength trained with the goal of actually adding weight to your lifts, you're going to find that the Rule of 3 is going to be too slow of progress for you. You're going to advance a lot faster than 3% every 3 weeks for 3 months. So as an example, on week 1, if you do 3 sets of 10 at say 20 pounds for your 10 rep max, you're gonna find that by week 2, that 20 pounds, your old 10 rep max, is already gonna be easier. But give yourself time to adapt to the weight increases. Maybe spend a week or 2 at the same weight if it's somewhat challenging. As it becomes easier in, say, maybe week 3, you can start to add load. You'll find throughout the 3 months that some weeks may go faster with your progress, some weeks might stall a little bit. Listen to your body, and that brings me to point 3, is adequate recovery. So we know that if you're engaging in strength training, you need to be consuming roughly 0.5 to 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. So somebody that's 150 pounds and just starting a strength training program should aim for 75 to 150 grams of protein. I personally like my clients a little bit on the higher side because people miscalculate and some days are worse than others. So if I have a 150 pound, say 70-year-old client, I'll encourage them to try to eat as close to 150 grams of protein as possible. Now, another part of phase 3 is sleep, because sleep is very important for recovery. And I know sleep varies a lot as you get older, and also individualistically, people sleep with different patterns, but focusing on getting adequate recovery through sleep, and if you can't get better sleep, at least reduce stress, because we know that stress increases adipose tissue, meaning fat, particularly around your midsection, and it also makes it harder to gain strength and muscle if you're stressed all the time. So work on reducing stress, getting better sleep, and making sure that you're eating 0.5 to 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight, and this is every day, right? In order to get 100% stronger in 3 months, we need to make sure that we respect all 3 of the phases. So selecting one exercise, finding your 10 rep max at that exercise, make sure that you record it so you see it frequently when you're working out, you have a goal in mind. Step 2 is to progress that exercise that you're working on, following the rule of 3 strength progression, adding weight roughly every 3 weeks or more if you find the weight becomes easy quickly, which you will find if you're new to strength training. And then phase 3 is adequate recovery, protein consumption, sleep, and stress reduction. If you put all 3 of these together, go through them in chronological order, you're gonna find that you will be 100% stronger in 3 months with a particular exercise. After you finish 3 months of getting stronger at, say, the leg press, for example, you have 2 options. One, you could add an additional exercise that you would like to gain strength in and run the 3-month cycle again. Or if you really enjoyed the exercise that you selected, you could just do the same exercise with finding a new 10 rep max, because it should be quite a bit more, up to 100% more than when you started. So you can repeat the cycle for the same exercise multiple times, or add another exercise. So now you'd be working on 2 exercises, finding your 10 rep max for both, and going through the whole process again. And this is exactly how I run my clients through a strength progression plan at my gym. And we're doing these things every single day. I have clients in their 60s, their 70s, and 80s that some of them at this point are 200 to 300% stronger than when they started in about a year to 6 months. When you follow the rule of progressive overload, meaning we lift more over time, you're gonna find that you get a lot stronger than if you just go in the gym and lift weights by feel. You need to be recording your weights and have a goal of getting stronger. Now, if this sounds confusing to you, I developed the Rule of 3 strength progression plan. It's completely free. You can print it out, stick it on your fridge, and you can follow along. It tells you exactly how to do everything. I'll pin it at the top of the comments, or it's in the description of this video. Run it and let me know how much stronger you got in 3 months.